Hello everyone and welcome on this rather wet February day. Now, Merciamoto has shown you how to fit a rev counter. Tiger has changed his rear chain for a did. I, in the past, have shown you how to fit the audicator and panniers, but this is rather different because it's hardly necessary to do, because the gear change rod, which is what this part is perfectly acceptable. It uses split pins, washers and a simple rod to go through the holes from the gear lever to the little operating arm. Now that all works perfectly well and very simple, and I'm all for simplicity, as you know. But I like this arrangement, and in fact I had this same arrangement on my Meteor, which was on there for about 2,500 miles. This has been on here for just over 2,000 miles, and there's another one on the Hurricane which has been on there just over 1,000 miles. The advantage, and you are wondering to yourself, what is the advantage? If I do this, what is the point? Well, you're very wise to ask that question. There are a number of small points, and one of them is that the whole mechanism is clamped together onto the gear lever and the operating arm, and the movement takes place on those end fittings, and those end fittings, they're called swivel joints. Now I know many of you will know of these things, and you'll want to do this for yourself, or perhaps you already have. Now here we have the detail of it, and at the top you've got the very original rod, bent rod with a hole either end, small hole either end, and a couple of washers. The disadvantage of this is that wear can take place where it passes through the holes both in the gear lever and the linkage. That would mean replacing both of those items. With my arrangement, wear will take place only on those swivel joints, which are very cheap, and I will put a pricing for all of this, but I can tell you now the whole thing comes to about £25 for the parts. So what have we actually got here? Well, right at the top, yes, we've got the original length of rod. Below that you've got two swivel joints. Now they're called M6 swivel joints. That means the threads on the ends are M6, and the holes that the screws pass through in the centre, they're 6mm diameter. Now you've also got two nuts, and they're called lock nuts. Now you don't necessarily need those. If you were to use a item called Loctite thread lock, you could dispense with those hexagon nuts, lock nuts, and it would actually look a lot neater. The length of that rod above, I have set my new mechanism to that same length, and that seems to work perfectly well. However, you could adjust it backwards and forwards a little bit using this this new method, sort of micro adjustment, if you needed to. That plain tube you see, silver tube, that's stainless steel tube, and that is 8mm outside diameter and 5mm internal diameter. It needs to be 5mm because that's the size you need to tap a thread, as it's called, into it. Now that is the tricky bit, I have to admit. If you can't tap a thread yourself, an M6 thread it is, you need to get this done at a small engineering shop, and if you live in a larger city like Manchester or Birmingham, Aberdeen, Dundee even, I'm sure you can find such a place. But many of you know, I know, will be able to do this for yourself, and you may already have done so, of course. But I haven't actually seen this on the YouTube, so I thought I'd stick it on why not? So yes, tap your thread, cut that piece of tubing to length so that you can have a decent depth of thread in your tube, and still maintain that distance between centres on the original rod that you have. And then you also need 2 mushroom headed socket screws, and they're the 2 screws that you see with little nuts on the end, and those little nuts on the end, they're M6 nylon insert nuts, and they're called stiff nuts sometimes called nylock. Nylock is a trade name for them, and they stop them coming unscrewed. You screw them through push them through the rose ends or swivel joint ends, and tighten it up, and bingo, you've got yourself a slightly adjustable mechanism. And personally, I like it for its elegance, but it also means you don't have the side play which does exist on the original rod. And I did put the original rod back on again after I'd done this mod to think, well, does it actually make any difference? Was there any point? Well, I think there is. There is a fair bit of side play on that, and so I'd rather not have that. So that's my solution to removing the side play, but also it means that you get to have a little play on your bike and make something for it. And I know you'll like doing that. So there we are. Where do you get these items from? Well, most of mine came from eBay. The piece of stainless steel tubing was actually from Amazon. Had to buy quite a length of it. I had to buy, I think it was about 500, about half a metre of it I had to buy. It was quite expensive, but you can buy it elsewhere for a lot less, I think. That was rather special stainless steel tubing, obviously, being rather expensive. So the swivel joints, they're often used on sort of sports cars. People fit them to the in various sizes to their sports cars and motorcycles as well, of course. So there we have it, and as I finish doing this, the sun's come out. What a lovely sight that is. Who knows, we might even be able to get it riding in the near future. Thank you very much for watching and listening to this, and good luck with this if you intend doing it. And we'll see you soon on a ride, one hopes. Take care, bye for now.